He froze, not because she was beautiful, but because the child beside her wore his necklace. Ava came for a job, a project interview she'd prepared for over weeks. But the CEO interviewing her wasn't just any boss, he was her past. And now, the man she thought had moved on was standing in front of her, seeing the daughter he never knew existed. What do you do when your long-lost love meets the child you kept hidden, because you thought he had already forgotten you? Could you forgive? Could you trust? Or would this moment tear open wounds too deep to heal? Beloved family of Love and Twilights, we're back, this time with a message of strength, hope, and gratitude. Today, we bring you wonderful news. Dr. Phillips is coming back to us. He's fully recovered, and it's all thanks to you. Your prayers lifted him. Your love sustained him. Your words gave him strength. And your passion kept his spirit alive. Let's flood the comments with a heartfelt "We love you, Dr. Phillips," to welcome him home. Thank you, dear Love and Twilight's family. Your hearts are the reason this community shines. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another unforgettable story. I'm Maxwell, your host for today. Now, let's begin this beautiful journey together. The cold morning air swept around Ava Monroe as she adjusted her daughter Lily's coat and pulled her close. Her heels tapped nervously on the pavement while Lily hummed a gentle tune, oblivious to the weight her mother carried. This wasn't just another tech interview, it was a defining moment. Ava had prepped for weeks, researched every division of Novatech, rehearsed in front of mirrors, memorized talking points. And yet, as the silver doors of the building slid open, none of that eased the storm inside her. Novatech's lobby was every bit as impressive as she'd imagined. Glass walls reflected soft light. Holograms played above the reception desk. Programmers in smart jackets moved with casual focus. Screens displayed floating tech diagrams, a constant reminder of just how much innovation pulsed through the place. Ava squeezed Lily's hand. They approached the desk. A receptionist with lavender braids and silver eyeshadow looked up from her tablet. "Ava Monroe?" "Yes." Ava smiled, hoping her voice didn't shake. "You're all set. Second floor, conference room B2. Your interviewers are waiting, including—" She paused slightly. "Mr. Carter." Ava's chest tightened. Liam Carter, the CEO, the man she once shared midnight ramen with in a cluttered lab, whose hands had once cupped her face under flickering neon lights. She didn't expect to see him again, especially not like this. She nodded, accepting the access badge. "Thank you." With Lily nestled at her side, she walked toward the elevators, her reflection staring back at her from every polished surface. The conference room was sleek. Frosted glass, a long chrome table, digital panels embedded in the surface. Ava tried to steady her nerves, bouncing Lily lightly on her hip. The door hissed open. She turned instinctively, then stopped breathing. There he was, Liam Carter, tall, commanding, sharp-jawed. His hair was darker than she remembered, but those eyes, the same rich brown, full of restrained curiosity, met hers and faltered for a brief second. It wasn't shock on his face, not quite, but it wasn't indifference either. "Ms. Monroe," he said, his voice smooth, distant. "Please have a seat." Ava gave a polite nod, holding Lily's hand as she settled into the chair opposite him. His gaze dropped for a moment, to the small child standing beside her, then flicked back to her portfolio. Ava had anticipated questions about leadership, teamwork, software architecture. She had not anticipated having to sit across from the man who once whispered dreams to her under code-drenched nights. The first few questions came quickly. Her recent freelance projects, her thoughts on decentralized AI structures, her code contribution to a visual assist app. Ava responded clearly, though every time Liam leaned forward to review her diagrams, the air seemed heavier. Then Lily shifted. The little girl climbed down from her chair and began fiddling with her stuffed rocket. Liam's gaze softened slightly, but then something shifted. His eyes narrowed. He leaned closer, not to Ava, but to Lily. The necklace, Ava saw it a heartbeat too late. The tiny golden rocket charm, identical to one Liam had once given her on a whim after their first successful hackathon. A one-of-a-kind design. She had worn it every day. When Lily was born, she had placed it around her daughter's neck during the naming ceremony. She never imagined anyone else would recognize it, but Liam did. He stood slowly, like a man unsure of the ground beneath him. He crouched beside Lily, gently taking her hand in his. The room fell silent. His thumb brushed the pendant. Then he looked up at Ava, and everything inside her twisted. His face changed. Composure cracked. Guarded confidence drained from his eyes. Ava saw the exact moment realization hit. His mouth parted, but no sound came. Lily giggled and touched his cheek. Liam stood frozen for several breaths, as if his whole past had just crashed into the present. Then, quietly, he said, "I didn't know she'd be with you." Ava tried to respond, but the words wouldn't come. He glanced around the room, suddenly aware of the others. HR managers, assistants, a senior developer who looked visibly confused. "Let's wrap up for today," Liam said abruptly, his voice dry. "But I still have," Ava began. "No, we're done. Thank you, Ms. Monroe. We'll be in touch." His tone was final. She blinked, stunned. "So, should I expect a call or—" "No," he said again quietly. "That won't be necessary." His eyes never left Lily. He looked like a man trying to hold back 1,000 questions and memories behind his expression. Ava stood slowly, collected her portfolio, and reached for Lily's hand. Her fingers trembled. She glanced back one last time before leaving. Liam was still standing, unmoving, his eyes following them out the door. In the elevator, Ava felt her pulse return, sharp and fast. She held Lily close as the floor numbers counted down. Everything had gone sideways. What just happened? Did he realize Lily was his? Could he really know? Her thoughts raced back. She had never told him. They hadn't spoken in years. And yet, the moment he saw that necklace, he had looked at Lily as if he knew. She stepped out into the lobby, trying to breathe. Lily tugged at her hand. "Mommy, who was that man?" Ava didn't answer. She couldn't. She walked briskly toward the exit, the high-tech walls blurring around her. But just as she reached the doors, "Ava!" It was him. Liam Carter was striding across the lobby, eyes focused, face unreadable. She turned, swallowing the panic rising in her throat. Liam stopped a few feet away, glancing between her and Lily. "Can we talk?" he asked, voice low. Ava stood still, torn between the urge to run and the need to know what he'd say next. Ava didn't answer Liam's request. Not immediately. But something in his expression, not authority, not anger, just ache, made her pause. With Lily distracted by a toy on the lobby floor, Ava gave a small nod. Liam's assistant hurried over, but he stopped her with a subtle gesture. "Block off the next hour," he said, not looking away from Ava. "No calls. No interruptions." He turned to Ava. "My office is upstairs, quiet, private." They walked in silence to the elevator, with Ava holding Lily's hand and questions swarming in her head. Why now? Why him? And more terrifyingly, why did her heart still recognize his voice? The elevator glided upward. As the city disappeared behind silver doors, Ava's mind broke through its own walls. 10 years earlier, she had been 21, hungry for a breakthrough, eager to prove herself. Novatech was a name then, not yet a legend. Housed in a renovated warehouse, its floor was cluttered with whiteboards, pizza boxes, and sleeping bags. She had gotten in through a developer fellowship, instantly matching energy with other bright misfits. And one of them, taller than the rest, quieter, intense, was Liam Carter. She remembered the first night clearly. It was 2:12 a.m. A debate about security layers had spiraled into a full-on challenge. Ava built a working encryption model in 4 hours, while Liam watched her type like her fingers were flame. He'd offered her a can of ginger soda and whispered, "You just rewrote our future." The spark was instant. At first, they were just collaborators. Then, faux leads, then something more. Their bond grew under the glow of shared ambition. Secret meetups between code sprints, jokes scrawled on whiteboards, weekend mornings spent with coffee and algorithms. He called her the gravity to his chaos, and she called him the light switch, because he'd show up and suddenly everything clicked. But success changed things. Novatech attracted investors, then deadlines, then structure, and then came the day. Ava had taken 3 tests before calling her best friend Nina, barely able to speak, pregnant with Liam Carter's child. She had gone to the lab that night intending to tell him, but he wasn't there. He had flown out to San Francisco for an urgent investor meeting, something he hadn't even told her about. Days passed. The calls between them shortened. His responses became robotic. Then, complete silence. He didn't ghost her. He just vanished into responsibility. Ava never chased him. She told herself she was protecting them both. That Liam, drowning in pressure, didn't need more weight. That her baby deserved a mother who chose peace over chaos. She told people the father was gone. Some thought she meant emotionally. Others assumed tragedy. She let them believe whatever version they could live with. But the truth was simpler and heavier. Ava had loved Liam Carter more than anyone, and she couldn't bear the risk of seeing disappointment in his eyes if she told him about Lily and he didn't want them. So, she built a life on her own. Late-night gigs, freelance contracts, support from Nina, and quiet resolve. Raising Lily had become her pride and her proof of resilience. But not once had she ever stopped thinking about the man who had disappeared without knowing what he left behind. Back in the present, the elevator dinged softly as it opened to a quiet corridor. Liam's office was a minimalist masterpiece, dark wood, curved glass, and bookshelves lined with tech journals and childhood photos of rockets. He gestured to a leather seat. Ava sat carefully. Lily waited in the outer lounge with a snack and one of the interns watching her. The room was still. Then Liam said quietly, "I didn't know." His voice cracked on the 3rd word. "I didn't know you were pregnant." "Ava, I swear." She didn't speak. Her hands trembled in her lap. "I thought," he ran a hand through his hair, pacing. "You just disappeared. I thought maybe you'd moved on, or that you'd decided we were just a distraction." Ava flinched. "So you left without saying anything?" "I had a flight at midnight. I wanted to call after the pitch meeting, but by the time I tried, your number was disconnected." She shook her head slowly. "You still could have tried harder." "You're right," he whispered. "I should have." She looked up, pain flaring. "Liam, I raised a child, alone. While you were becoming a tech legend, I was scraping code in basements." "I know," he said, guilt spreading across his face. "I didn't know she existed. Ava, if I had known." He trailed off. Ava's voice cracked. "You think that makes it better?" "No," he said immediately. "It doesn't. But it's the truth." She took a breath, bracing herself. "She's yours." The words hit the air like thunder. Liam's shoulders slumped. He sat down across from her and covered his face with both hands. When he looked up again, his eyes were wet. "Does she know?" "She knows she has a dad. I told her he was far away, that he loved rockets, that he was brilliant, but I never told her your name." Liam leaned forward. "I want to be in her life. If you'll let me." Ava folded her arms. "And do what, exactly? Pick her up on weekends? Send tech toys from afar? She's not some project, Liam." "I know," he said. "I'm not trying to fix this in one day. I just want to start." Ava stood. "I came for a job, not a reunion." "You deserve both." His eyes were steady. "I read your resume last night. I didn't even know it was you." "Your work is brilliant, Ava. You belong at Novatech." She paused. "Are you offering me a job out of guilt?" "I'm offering it because you earned it. With or without Lily." She didn't reply. Instead, she walked to the glass wall and stared at the skyline. Then she whispered, "I don't know what I want right now." Liam came to stand beside her, maintaining a respectful distance. "That's fair," he said. "But whatever happens, I want to do this right. For both of you, what would you do if someone from your past returned, changed, remorseful, and tied to your future? Tell us in the comments below. Do you believe in second chances? Let's talk about it. And while you're here, hit the like button, share this story, and subscribe to Love and Twilights, because every love story deserves to be heard. The next morning arrived with the kind of tension Ava hadn't felt since defending her final project in university. She hadn't slept. Lily had asked simple questions during breakfast, none of which she had answers to. "Mummy, is that man my daddy?" Ava had paused. "We'll talk about it soon, baby." Now, standing in the Novatech parking structure once again, she wasn't sure what brought her back. Curiosity, the possibility of work, or something deeper that she hadn't yet named. Liam met her by the elevator. He didn't speak, just walked beside her in silence until they reached a quiet lounge. It wasn't his office this time. Somewhere neutral, somewhere safe. "I asked HR to draft your offer letter," he said quietly. "No special treatment, no shortcuts, just your portfolio and your results." Ava nodded slowly. "You did all that overnight?" He gave a small smile. "Didn't sleep either." There was a pause. "Why are you doing this?" she finally asked. "Is it for her, or is it for you?" Liam's voice was steady. "For all three of us, but only if you want it." Ava read the contract line by line. It was airtight. No favors, clear deliverables, a leadership role, managing a new AI project team. She closed the document and looked up. "I'm qualified for this." "I know," he said. "I saw your application before I knew it was you. The team was already interested." Ava's throat tightened. "Then why walk out on the interview?" He hesitated. "Because I saw Lily, and I forgot how to breathe." The honesty in his voice landed harder than anything else he had said so far. She placed the contract back on the table. "If I sign this, it won't be because of guilt or history. It'll be because I deserve it." "You do," he replied. "Completely. And if I work here, you won't treat me differently. I'll treat you like the asset you are to this company. And I'll keep my distance, if that's what you want." His gaze held. There was no performance in his tone, only quiet resolve. Ava nodded. "Then I'll start tomorrow." Liam let out a breath. "Thank you." Day one was a blur. Ava was introduced to her new team, 4 engineers, 2 product leads, and a data architect. She dove straight into the backlog and presented revisions to a stalled chatbot feature by lunchtime. By 3 p.m., she was already debugging live code with confidence. The room around her started to buzz with respect. Liam didn't interfere. He passed by twice but said nothing, leaving her space. That evening, after Lily had been picked up by Nina, Ava stayed behind to finish her onboarding checklist. When she turned to leave, Liam was in the hall, holding a box of old cables. "You forgot your ID badge," he said, handing it over. Their fingers brushed, and in that quiet moment, neither one moved. "I've wanted to say something," he began softly. "Something I never got to say back then." Ava didn't stop him. "I wasn't ready. Back then I was barely holding the company together. But that's no excuse for disappearing. I should have reached out. I should have asked if you were okay." She held his gaze. "I didn't tell you because I was scared. You had this big dream, and I was just one part of it." "You were more than that," he said, with quiet intensity. "You were the reason half of it worked." Ava looked away. "I raised Lily without you. I don't regret that. But it wasn't easy." "I want to be there now," he said. "Not to erase what you've done, but to learn from it. To be worthy of the time I missed." She gave a small nod, then stepped back. "I believe people can change," she whispered. "But I also believe in consequences." He nodded. "So do I." 2 days later, Ava received a company-wide invitation to the Novatech family weekend. Bring your kids, food, tech demos, drone races. Saturday. She almost deleted it. Then Liam sent a short message. "Lily deserves to see where you shine." Ava read it twice before replying, "We'll come for an hour." The park was decorated with blue streamers and branded balloons. Tech stations lined the space with interactive exhibits. Ava wore her badge like everyone else, just another developer on the team. Lily ran toward a table full of circuit puzzles. Liam followed a few steps behind, laughing quietly when she high-fived an intern. "Look, Mummy," Lily shouted. "It's flying." A small hover drone hovered above her hands, controlled by a tablet. Ava watched her daughter's joy and caught Liam watching them both. Their eyes met. This time, neither looked away. Midway through the event, an urgent whisper spread. The main demo crashed. Ava overheard two engineers whispering frantically by the command tent. She stepped in. "Need help?" The tech lead blinked. We lost the render feed. The AI assistant won't load." Liam's about to go on stage. Ava grabbed a tablet and linked into the backup server. Her fingers flew. Within seconds, the prototype assistant reinitialized. A message pinged across the server, restored by AM. Liam, stepping onto the stage, looked down at the live feed and smiled. Later, as families applauded and the demo concluded flawlessly, Ava felt a hand touch her shoulder. She turned. Liam stood beside her. "That was brilliant," he whispered. "You saved the whole thing." "I didn't do it for you," she replied. "I know," he said gently. "You did it because you're the best person for the job." Then, hesitantly, he added, "And the one I'm still in love with." Ava didn't answer, but she didn't walk away either. Later that night, after Lily had fallen asleep and the last guests had left the park, Ava sat on a bench beneath the tech-lit trees. Liam approached slowly, holding 2 cups of tea. He offered her one. She accepted it in silence. "Thank you for today," he said. "For the fix. For the grace." They sipped quietly. Then he turned, eyes soft. "I know I'm not owed anything. But if there's ever a chance to be in her life, even just a small one, I'll take it." Ava closed her eyes. Then she whispered, "I don't know what this is yet." "It's okay," he replied. "We'll figure it out one day at a time." The first full week as a team lead felt like a whirlwind. Ava didn't just step into her role, she commanded it. Her team responded to her with quiet admiration. Her project roadmap was clear, innovative, and ambitious. She scheduled a sprint session and rewrote a large portion of the backend for their conversational AI platform. By Friday, they had hit milestones weeks ahead of schedule. Liam stayed back, only checking in during review meetings. He didn't hover, he didn't interfere, and that, oddly, made Ava respect him more. One afternoon, as she reviewed a bug report, she heard a soft knock on the glass divider. Liam stood there, holding a cup of coffee and a quiet expression. "Hey," he said, "just wanted to say, your solution for the memory overflow, brilliant." Ava gave a polite nod. "Thank you. And, would you maybe want to grab lunch sometime?" She hesitated. "I mean," he added quickly, "not like a date, just talk." Ava set her tablet down. "Let's keep things professional, at least for now." Liam nodded slowly, trying not to look disappointed. "Understood." That weekend, Lily had a fever. Ava, exhausted and unsure if she should miss the Monday deadline, texted Nina, only to find out she was out of town. Before she could spiral into worry, her phone rang. "Liam, do you need help?" he asked immediately. She hesitated, then relented. "I wouldn't ask, but yes." Liam arrived an hour later with pediatric electrolyte drinks and a toy coding tablet. Lily perked up at the sight of him. "You came back," she whispered. He smiled gently. "I promised I would." For the next few hours, he read stories, checked temperatures, and even made soup. Ava watched from the hallway, unsure whether to cry or laugh. Maybe, just maybe, he was meant to be in their lives after all. The following Friday, the board held a private session to review departmental progress. Ava was invited to present her AI upgrade model. Nervous but determined, she stepped up and delivered a clean, confident walkthrough. Technical questions came fast. She answered each with clarity. When it ended, Meredith Quinn, the board's toughest member, gave a simple nod. Excellent framework. Clean execution. Afterward, Carter approached her quietly as the room cleared. "I've been in dozens of these," he said, "but I've never seen someone own the room like that." She arched a brow. Even you. He chuckled. Especially me. Their eyes lingered. Something unspoken passed between them, but Ava looked away. She wasn't ready. Not yet. Later that week, Carter brought Lily a small kit. Build your own robot arms. She squealed in delight and dragged him to the living room floor to help her assemble it. Ava leaned on the doorframe, arms crossed. She already knows binary, she said with a half smile. He looked up, surprised. You taught her that? She insisted. As they worked side by side on the floor, Ava felt something ease inside her, a warmth she hadn't allowed herself to feel in years. That night when Carter left, Lily curled up on Ava's chest. I like him, she mumbled. Ava kissed her forehead. Me too. Novatech's annual rooftop mixer was approaching. Employees were encouraged to bring someone special. Liam, leaning on the rail during a late work night, finally asked, Would you come with me? Ava looked up from her screen. To what? The mixer, as my guest. She tilted her head. As your date? Liam didn't blink. As someone I care about. Her heart kicked in her chest. I don't want to rush this, she said carefully. But maybe. We can walk in together. Just walk. He smiled. That's more than I hoped for. The skyline shimmered. Strings of warm bulbs crisscrossed above the crowd. A DJ played soft jazz while engineers and designers danced and laughed. Ava arrived in a simple black jumpsuit, Lily holding her hand. Carter met them near the entrance. You look. He started, but couldn't finish. Ava smiled. I know. They walked together, casual but close. Everyone noticed. Some stared. Others nodded. Meredith passed by and murmured, Finally. Ava laughed softly. You told her. She guessed, Liam replied. Under the stars, Lily danced in circles with glowing bracelets, while Ava and Carter talked quietly in a corner. And just for one night, nothing hurt. No memories weighed them down. No apologies hovered between them. Only hope. The lab was quiet. Most of the team had clocked out for the night. But Ava and Liam remained, side by side at a shared console, fine-tuning a deep learning model. The room glowed in soft blues from the monitor's backlight. Outside, the city lights blinked like distant memories. As Ava reviewed a segment of code, she felt Liam watching her. She turned. Did I miss something? He smiled, but it wasn't playful. No, I just haven't seen you this focused in a long time. It's beautiful. Her fingers froze over the keys. Liam, I'm not asking for anything, he said gently, just admiring the moment. Silence stretched between them, thick, warm, expectant. Then Ava softly asked, Do you ever wish we'd handled things differently? His voice was quiet. Every day. The following night, Ava received a text from Liam, rooftop, 8 p.m., dress warm, no pressure. She arrived in a soft ivory coat, a scarf loosely wrapped around her neck. The air was crisp, the skyline sharp and glowing. The rooftop had been transformed. Fairy lights coiled along the railing. A table was set for two, complete with flickering candles and sushi, her favorite. You remembered, she said, surprised. I remember everything, he replied. They sat, talked, laughed more than they had in years. Stories flowed about childhoods, dreams, fears, and what kept them awake at night. I missed us, Ava confessed after her third cup of tea. I never stopped missing you, he replied. Then, with a pause so long it felt like the city stopped breathing, he reached across the table and gently took her hand. Ava, he whispered, I love you. I always have. She looked at him, not the CEO, not the genius, but the boy she once trusted with everything. There were tears in her eyes, not of sadness but release. I'm scared, she said softly. So am I, he whispered. He rose slowly and moved toward her. She didn't move away. Their faces came closer, hesitant, searching. Then, their lips touched. Not rushed, not hungry, just full of memory and aching tenderness. The kind of kiss you give someone you never stopped loving. When they pulled apart, Ava rested her forehead against his chest. "This changes things," she whispered. "I hope so," he replied. The next day, Ava walked into the office earlier than usual, her steps lighter. She saw Liam in the distance, surrounded by staff, but his eyes found hers instantly. He gave a brief nod. No smirk, no smugness, just quiet acknowledgement of something sacred between them. In the lunchroom, one of the junior engineers leaned in and whispered, "You two look happy." Ava smiled but said nothing. It wasn't about gossip. It was about growth. That night, Liam stopped by Ava's apartment to return a forgotten lab notebook. Lily answered the door. She wore her pajamas and clutched her rocket plushie. "Hi," she beamed. "Do you want to come in?" Liam crouched. "Only if it's okay with Mummy." Lily tilted her head. "Is it okay, Mummy?" Ava, standing behind her, nodded. Just for a little while. As Liam sat on the couch, Lily plopped beside him. She looked up with curious eyes. "Are you my dad?" Liam's heart nearly stopped. He turned to Ava. She knelt beside Lily. "Sweetheart, remember when we talked about the man who helped build rockets?" Lily nodded slowly. Ava smiled gently. "That's him." Lily turned to Liam, serious. "So, can I call you Daddy?" Tears filled his eyes instantly. He couldn't speak, just nodded and held out his arms. Lily leapt into his chest. From the doorway, Ava wiped her cheeks. It was the moment she hadn't let herself dream of, but somehow always hoped would come. Over the next several days, everything began to shift. Liam and Ava fell into a rhythm. School drop-offs, shared dinners, bedtime stories. He learned Lily's favorite lullabies. She learned to sneak extra hugs when he passed by. Ava watched them, heart swelling. This wasn't just reconnection, it was becoming a family. Not perfect, not rushed, but real. Late one night, Liam and Ava sat on the living room floor, a candle flickering between them. "Do you think this will last?" she asked. He looked at her seriously. "It depends." "On what?" "On whether we keep choosing it, every day, even when it's hard." She nodded. Then he whispered, "Let me keep choosing you." Her lips parted. Her heart ached. She whispered back, "Okay." The mornings were different now. Lily woke up to two faces smiling down at her, one brushing her hair back gently, the other slipping tiny shoes onto her feet. Ava brewed coffee while Liam made breakfast. It wasn't flashy. It was quiet joy. And in the background, Novatek waited, eager to test the synergy of two once-separated minds now reunited. They arrived at work together, not holding hands, but walking side by side. Unspoken, equal. That was Ava's condition, and Liam respected it without question. Meredith Quinn summoned Ava to the 17th floor, the floor where all strategy was shaped. The moment Ava walked in, she knew something was different. Meredith gestured to the table. "Sit." Liam wasn't there. "Ava," Meredith began, "we're building a new think tank inside the AI division. You'd lead it. Full creative control, budget, autonomy." Ava blinked. "What about my current team?" "They'll follow. Most of them already said they would." "And Liam?" Meredith gave a half smile. "He's not part of this decision." "This is about you." Ava paused. "What changed your mind?" Meredith leaned in. "You earned it. And I know brilliance when I see it." For the first time in her career, Ava didn't second-guess her own light. She smiled. "I'll take it." That night, Ava and Liam sat on the rooftop once again. No candles this time, just cold air, a city blinking beneath them, and 2 mugs of tea. "I heard," he said, "about the offer." He nodded. "I'm proud of you." She turned toward him. "You're not threatened." He laughed quietly. "Ava, I didn't fall in love with you to control you. I fell in love with your mind." She reached for his hand. "This time, I want us to rise together. No shadows, no sidelines." He squeezed her fingers. "Then let's rewrite everything." A few days later, Ava received an encrypted email from a major competitor. They wanted her to lead a rival innovation lab. The offer came with everything. Double her salary, equity, relocation. She stared at the screen for a long time. Then she closed the laptop. Later that night, she told Liam, "You should take it," he said instantly. "If it's right." She smiled at him. "I already made my choice. You didn't even read the second page," he pointed out. She leaned against him. "I don't need to." Novatech's Founders' Day was a grand affair, celebrating innovation, resilience, and growth. This time, Ava was one of the speakers. She stood on stage beside Liam, the two of them introduced as co-leads of the AI Vision Group. She shared their journey, not just professionally, but emotionally. The silence, the struggle, the reunion. When she stepped down, Lily ran into her arms. Cameras flashed. But in Ava's world, there were only two faces she cared about, one wide-eyed with pride, and the other filled with enduring love. It wasn't elaborate, just a soft evening at home. Liam was helping Lily build a cardboard rocket. Ava sat cross-legged on the floor watching them. Then he turned and said, "We're already a family. But I want to make it real." She looked up. He held a ring, not big, not flashy, but engraved inside for all the missed years. For the rest of them too. Lily clapped. "Say yes, Mommy." Ava laughed through her tears. "Yes," she whispered. Yes. Novatech had doubled its reach. Ava's lab had produced a groundbreaking neural framework used across education systems. She gave lectures now, spoke to girls in tech, held mentoring circles, partnered with schools to teach Lily's coding curriculum. Liam remained her partner, in work, in home, and in heart. Lily, now reading chapter books and designing basic apps, called both of them her heroes. On their wedding day, held on the rooftop where it all began, Ava whispered into Liam's ear, "We lost a decade, but we found a lifetime." He kissed her hand. "And I'll never waste a minute of it again." Do you believe love can survive time, silence, and secrets? Drop your thoughts below. We want to hear from those who still believe in second chances. If this story touched you, like, share, and subscribe to Love and Twilights, where lost hearts find home again. Because some stories aren't over. They're just waiting to begin. The mornings were slower now. Ava sipped her coffee on the terrace, barefoot, wrapped in a cotton robe. The garden below their townhouse was alive with color. Lily's small vegetable patch blooming beside flower beds Liam had planted on a whim. Lily's laughter echoed from inside as she tried to teach their new puppy how to sit. From the kitchen, the smell of cinnamon rolls drifted toward her, Liam's attempt at following his mother's recipe. Ava smiled to herself. He was getting better, still awful at folding laundry, but now a master of bedtime stories and midnight cuddles. This was the version of life she never imagined possible, peaceful, honest, and earned. At Novatech, Ava was now not just leading the AI innovation group, she was mentoring rising stars. She had just wrapped a session with a group of first-year female engineers. The youngest had come up shyly afterward and asked, "How did you stay strong through everything?" Ava smiled. "I didn't always feel strong, but I never let fear be the final decision." She gave the girl her card. "Call if you ever forget your own brilliance." At the elevator, Liam waited, holding a lunch bag and a juice box with Lily's name scribbled across it. "Parent duty calls," he said, kissing Ava on the cheek. "Thanks for the delivery," she whispered, brushing his tie straight. "Always." A year after they had first walked into the Novatech family event as co-workers with history, they returned as husband and wife. Lily wore a shirt she'd coded herself with a tiny LED panel that read, "Mini Engineer." Carter held her high on his shoulders while Ava led a coding challenge booth for kids. Watching them under the spring sunlight, surrounded by laughter and curious minds, she realized something. The story hadn't ended with a reunion. That was just the beginning. That night, as they tucked Lily into bed and turned out the lights, Ava stood at the window, watching the city flicker with promise. Liam came behind her, arms wrapping gently around her waist. "You're quiet," he murmured. "Just thinking about how far we've come, how close we came to never having this." He kissed her shoulder. "We found our way." Ava nodded slowly. "We did." Then she turned to face him. And whatever comes next, we'll face it together. He touched her cheek. Always. If you've ever held on to hope, waited for healing, or believed in love even when it hurt, this story is for you. Share your favorite moment below and tell us, what would you have done in Ava's place? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Love and Twilights, where every story ends not with goodbye, but with the promise of another chance. Because some stories don't fade, they grow.